Hi and welcome to Bonnet and Blade. Today we're going to be talking about the Garran. The Garran is the Highland pony, and if you directly translate the Gaelic, it's the gelding, which is the boy that's had his bits chopped. But modern days we call the Garran anything at all. But Jess, who's normally the cameraman, and today I'm behind the camera, so if the footage is a bit wonky, then blame me. But Jess today is actually going to take us through the Garran, the hill pony, and the history behind it all, and the modern day-to-day side of things, because Jess is an expert in her field. Jess has done this for a number of years, and I'm sure she's going to tell us about all the awards she's won, the books she's in, and there may even be a very, very famous production that she's been in, but I'll let her tell you more about that as the time goes on. Today, we are up with Jess's Highland pony. This is her first ever Highland pony, and over the years Jess has had a fair number. I'll let her tell you more how many she's had, but she's had a fair number, but this is the first Highland pony that Jess had as a foal, and she trained to become a deer pony. So I'm handing you over to Jess now.
So this is Tanny, Tanera of Carlung for Posh. She is an 11-year-old mare. I have had her since she was 2 years old. So as a youngster, when I broke her to ride, I also trained her to do deer retrieval. And as a result of doing deer retrieval, we've ended up on films such as The Crown. She's been the star of the show on season 4, episode 2, A Moral Test. You'll see her walking behind Diana and Philip with a stag on her back. Very clever little horse. But she doesn't just do films, she does do stag retrieval for real as well. So we've worked on estates such as Glenetive, doing it as a real job. And in our downtime, back before COVID, we used to do competitions with the deer saddles. So we've won the Highland Pony Society Breed Show back in 2018, and in 2021 we won Blair Castle. So she's done very good.
Why do they use Highland ponies?
Well, it's a traditional thing. It's a thing that's happened since the 18th century, possibly earlier, late 17th century. And it's actually quite an environmental way of going out to do the deer management. More favoured over using ATVs because they don't, have all the fuel fumes. They don't do environmental damage with tracks. Excuse you. So it's now much more favoured and getting more popular again. So to date, there is currently 4 different types of deer saddle. 3 are traditional older style saddles, and there's one new modern one which Eric Stark and Sylvia Ormiston together did a collaboration on. I still prefer the traditional saddles just because the modern saddle's based on a pack saddle, and it bruises the meat with all the metal rivets. So I still favour the big Glenstrathfarrar saddle, which I'm about to put on Tanny. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the Glenstrathfarrar on Tanny, my supermodel. They are quite heavy saddles. I think they weigh about, 2 stone, which is some weight. But this is what these guys are bred for, very strong backs.
What weight can they carry?
Well, the average dead stag is about 18 stone.
Okay.
Obviously, the higher north you go and the more rugged terrain, and the more deer population you've got, the lighter the stags are because of food and competition, all the rest of it. Down here in Dumfries and Galloway, the stags are massive, absolutely huge. We've taken the biggest stags down in the lowlands, and everyone's surprised when I tell them, up the road. They don't believe it, but we've got photos to prove it. So I'm just going to go ahead and tack her up. It's nice to see after 2 foals this still fits her.
So what's all the different straps that you're doing and why you're doing it?
Yeah, I'm just going to defankle this
Okay.
and put it out in an order, and then once I've done that I will go through it. There we go, because I've got strapped under straps going on at the moment. There we are. Right. Okay, so this saddle, what's good about this saddle, what I like about it, instead of 2 straps like most of the other saddles, it's got 3. Because what we do is we cross this under and that goes over the top and it stabilises the heavy load on the horse.
Okay.
I like having an extra girth strap for security. So I'm just going to go ahead and see how much beef she's got. Oh yeah, beefy bake. I need to undo that from the side.
And are these the traditional straps or are these modern?
These are traditional straps. I had the saddler make these ones. These are just blue canvas. What they say traditionally is, because these deer saddles are used for the grouse panniers as well, you literally just strap them on over the side of the saddles. What they say is it's blue canvas for deer work, and it's like a light natural colour canvas for doing grouse work.
Okay.
I mean, that's more for a traditional thing, and nowadays it's not so much. We see a lot of blue canvas or we see leather. That's back to front. Oh my days, Tanny. Oh my days. Some belly.
I believe also there's quite a number of the new style girths.
Yeah. The Balmoral girth.
Humane girths or something?
Yeah, it's based on a riding humane girth, but it's been modified. I'll insert picture.
Okay. And do you favour them or do you favour this?
I like this.
Okay.
I'm a massive traditionalist.
Okay. Okay, so you were talking about the Balmoral girth.
Yep.
So can you tell me, you said that you favour the Balmoral girth?
I mean, I've used it. There's nothing wrong with it, and I've used it out working. The horse finds it comfortable, but equally she'll also go in this quite well too. I'm just a traditionalist, and so I favour traditional tack. That's personal preference, to be honest with you.
That's been brought up with a historian father.
That's what it is, that's what's done it.
And when we're talking about the Balmoral girth, what about the Balmoral saddle? What's your thoughts on it? Because it's the most modern of all of the saddles.
In theory it's great because it's adjustable width to suit different horses.
So based on the old military pack saddle?
Yeah, it is. And in theory it's a brilliant concept. The only downside that I've seen so far, and I've seen one up close, is these arches where they put the straps. They've actually riveted it through it and the bolts stick out here, and so it can bruise the meat. That's the only kind of flaw that I've seen with these, because in theory, in practice, being adjustable and everything and lighter weight, it's a great thing.
Okay, so you still favour the Glenstrath out of all of the saddles for working?
Yes.
Okay.
And I keep this. This has actually been redone underneath, so it's nice and evenly padded for the horse still, and it's all been done by the traditional way with reeds, so it absorbs the sweat and doesn't rub.
And you've owned one of each of the traditional saddles, haven't you?
Yes, I have, yeah.
And you favour the Glenstrath.
This is my favourite. It's the most stable.
Okay. What's the other one after that you would choose to work with?
The Glencoy saddle.
The Glencoy.
It's smaller in size because it's called the Glenstrath because it was modelled on the Glenstrath estate for their type of working stags they do. Glencoy is named after the estate also, but it's smaller.
Okay.
It's got 2 straps instead of 3, but it's got a longer skirt as well with a slit, because what we do is we get a massive leather strap called a surcingle, and I just wrap it over the top of this, but this one actually tucks into the long skirt.
You'll be able to show us one
later.
We'll
demonstrate later, yeah.
And what about the combination saddle? That was designed for Queen Victoria, wasn't it?
Yes. So the idea was you ride out, because it's shaped like a riding saddle, and then you walk the stag back, and you use a normal riding girth with it. So, to me, that will just go everywhere.
Well, you've tried it, haven't you?
I have tried it, and
what happened to the centre of gravity? It's
not balanced, and the whole thing just moves. It slips. There's nothing on the girth to stabilise it like a pack saddle, and because it's not shaped like this as well, it's shaped more like a riding saddle.
Yeah.
it's, yeah, I can't see why the horse would be comfortable with that either. Can't be very comfortable.
So it
with
really
weight
was
distribution.
just for royal privilege to get
Absolutely,
the queen out and the deer
absolutely.
back, but the gillies would have had a nightmare trying to keep the animal
Absolutely.
happy. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
So nowadays I see a lot of them with the grouse panniers on, so maybe
Maybe it's good
with
for
grouse
that.
it would be good for that.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
for deer retrieval, the Glen Strathfarra has your vote.
absolutely, 100%.
And historically, have you any family that's worked with this?
Yes, my great, I'm not sure how many great grandfathers were working Highland ponies back in the day.
Do you know where that was?
Up in Succoth in Argyll.
That's right, just outside Stricker. Our family descend from King Fergus of Dalriada. We will be doing a video on our family more in depth because our family tree is very connected to King Fergus and the clan chiefs of the Fergusons of Argyll. And we had Highland ponies as a family up in Argyll in Stricker area near Succoth, as Jess says. And we've got photographs that we'll be inserting in this video of the family out deer stalking with the deer saddles and a deer on the back. That must be when photographs were out.
Yeah.
So, but I believe the family were doing it before that as well. So we have an ancient connection with the deer saddles. I know that there's families further up north that have had unbroken connections, but we too have quite a strong family history
Heritage, yeah.
with the Garran Highland pony. And so Jess was keen to keep that going
Yes.
and has been very successful in doing so.
Okay, so that's the girths done up.
Super.
So I'm going to go to the front of her. I like to do the girths up because if she wobbles, the saddle's not going to fall off.
Yep. So what's this thing called
So
now?
this thing at the front is called a breastplate. So it just, this blue canvas strap, yep, bezel twisted that side, that's fine. Just wraps around her chest like that, and it stops the saddle slipping too far back when she's going down a hill with a massive load.
Okay. So is this a bit like a driving harness?
It is very similar.
Okay.
Very similar.
I also noticed that you're not putting anything into the keepers. Is there a reason for that?
Yes.
'Cause
Sure.
most people would say that looks untidy.
Oh yeah. My OCD says it's untidy, but a safety reason says if you get stuck in a bog when you're out actually working, you can just, and it all just
makes
comes undone,
sense.
and you don't have to worry about trying to get things in and out of keepers in an emergency.
And having been out on the hill, have you had any difficulties?
I did have an incident where we took the wrong path. Basically, we were told to go up a path and we thought we were going up that path, but the problem was he hadn't been up there for a while, the gamekeeper that is, and the walkers, because it's quite a popular tourist place, had made so many different paths. So I took, in my head, I was literally following directions, taking that path I was told to take, furthest to the left or the right, whichever one it was at the time. It was about 6 years ago now. And we took that path, but it wasn't the right path. It was a new path that one of these walkers had made, and it ended up going down the ravine, and you couldn't actually go off any tracks, even though tracks it started disappearing because either side was like really deep mud, and I slipped and fell, and this little girl pulled me back out again, and she was literally up to here in bog, bless her cotton socks.
So you actually slipped down into the
I
ravine
slipped and I did hurt my back. It was,
you were swinging on a rope that
Yeah.
was attached to your belt.
I was climbing, she was attached to my belt loop on, I was wearing knees. She was literally clipped on with a carabiner on a lead rope here so that I could use my hands.
And am I right in thinking that it was rock faces that Tanny was running up
Yeah.
and you were scrambling up
Yeah.
and people were passing you with
Yeah.
crampons and axes and all
Oh,
sorts
it's
to
crazy.
get
It
up?
was an absolutely crazy time.
This is the same sort of mountain range as Ben Nevis.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
You can
just
see
to
Ben
put it
Nevis.
into perspective, yeah, so same sort of height. So that was definitely an interesting one. I wasn't there. I was back at base camp, but I saw a very bedraggled pony and Jess come back. And after the lasagna had been in the oven for a good few hours, I was worried about it burning until I seen the state of them, then realised it'd been a disaster.
Yeah. She's some girl. She's a wee trooper.
But for a pony to bog herself to save you is pretty amazing.
Oh, she's a
because
very
their
special
instinct are
horse.
not to bog.
No, they're flight animals. They will not put themselves in that sort of situation. But she's such a special princess.
The bond that you two have is very special.
Yeah.
I know that she tests you at home, but am I right in saying that when you're out, she never ever lets you down?
That's kids for you though, isn't it? You good girl. Nah, I love this little mare to bits. Cool, so that's the breastplate done up.
Super.
So I'm going to go to her back now. Right, she's not impressed. Anyway.
So what
yeah,
about
such a good
shoeing
girl.
the ponies?
My personal choice isn't to shoe.
Okay.
They can feel the ground, and their feet are designed to bend and flex over rocks and ground, and I like them to feel confident where they're putting their feet. I've seen too many situations where horses with metal shoes have slipped on rock or concrete, and they've not been able to feel the ground, so they're going places that would give any of us the fear. I know a lot of people do, and back in history they shod them, but instead of just like a traditional flat horseshoe, at the back of the horseshoe where their heels are, they would have like a cleat coming down, so like kind of grip. But as a personal preference, I like to have them barefoot and feel the ground properly.
And have you ever had a problem getting them up the hill?
Never. Never. And I've done different ground. I've done bogs, I've done rock. She's done them all. She's great.
Fantastic.
So I'm at the back of her now with the equivalent of the breastplate, but at the back.
Okay.
It's not a bum plate. Wish it was. It's called a breeching.
A breeching.
Very similar to what you refer to it as in a driving harness.
Is it set the same as a driving harness? As in height and...
No, I'd say for driving it sits more here.
Okay.
And yeah, we don't have, there's like long breechings and things that wrap around vehicles. It is slightly different.
Okay.
This isn't designed to stop a vehicle. This is designed to stop the saddle sliding forward
Okay.
up the horse's neck. So a slightly different function. And where is my strap for that? 2 seconds. Found it. Happy days. So that just wraps around there like that. And I'll just bring the breeching down round our bottom again. There we go. Sorry, baby. It's invading personal space slightly. Yes, I'm sorry. No. Cool. I want it sitting there so it's not going to get in the way of our hocks and our movement going downhill, but it's also not so high that it's going to slide right up her bum and give her a wee wedgie. Won't be very nice for her. Cool, so that's the breeching on, more or less, minus the rump strap, which is this strap that just wraps over her bottom. What I'll do next though is I put that on last once I've got the crupper on, which is this thing that goes underneath her tail. If you can, it'll just wrap around here.
Okay.
So I use the keepers to keep this up on this, so I need this done up first. I need to lengthen it because she's gotten a slightly bigger body than last time she wore this.
She has the most amazing face. She's just beautiful. Aren't you, sweetie? You're just gorgeous. Aren't you, darling?
There we go.
She's like, you're doing a lot of talking rather than just getting on with it, because I want to get out on the hill.
Oh, sorry dear. Cool, so that's the crupper on.
We nearly had to bleep that one. What's the better thing about the pony than the ATV? Because you said the pony's better. Why?
If you're an environmentalist
Uh-huh.
and you care about ecosystems on triple SIs, which most of these estates are on and things like that, then they're not going to create as much damage, so they don't leave tracks. If they get stuck, they're not going to leave loads of tyre marks, they're not going to leave fuel fumes, they're not noisy.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, it wasn't that long ago I was in one of these Facebook groups and people from abroad love it, and were asking to go out for days out with ponies.
Yeah, no, that makes
because
sense.
it just adds to the Scottish,
Caught round her ear.
the whole Scottish scene
Yes.
of going out on the hill with a pony.
Yeah. But what about, is there places the ponies can get that ATVs can't, or the other way around?
Yes, ponies, because they're agile
Uh-huh.
and four-legged, they can get places ATVs can't go. Obviously ponies have limits too, but generally speaking, yes.
So the likes of those rock faces that you were climbing up, an ATV wouldn't get up that?
No, the reason I was brought in was because they couldn't get vehicles up there.
Right. And you managed to get the pony up.
I managed.
It was difficult, but you got it up.
It was difficult. I wouldn't choose to do it again.
Yeah. But you did it.
But we did it, because she's a wee tank and we love her.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Good. Cool. So that's her harnessed up. That's her harnessed up for the hill.
Fantastic.
Minus the big leather strap that wraps around here, calls her single, and all it does is just adds an extra layer of protection. Usually if one of my girth straps snap, I've got an extra thing of protection.
So how does the deer get attached to the saddle?
So what happens is when we load the stag, there's quite a few of us, what we do is we put the head and the chest in the middle of the saddle with the legs hanging down, so it looks horrendously off balanced. It's really not, because the head and the chest is where the weight of the stag is. Any further over, the pony's going to be lopsided.
But you'll insert a picture of Tanny doing it for real with
Absolutely,
there as well,
yeah.
so you can see what we're talking about.
Yeah. So head and chest go here, legs hanging off. I wrap the head back over itself and tie it with a rope over the antler so it can't move and jag the pony in the neck. And then we literally, I have 4 of these really long straps on these plus spare, and they get wrapped round the stag and attached on a buckle super tight with these.
Okay.
And we do check them on the way down.
Okay.
Make sure nothing's moved and everything's tightened.
And so describe a day out on the hill, what would it look like?
So we left tacked up the same time as the guests went up on the hill, but we're not in jeeps and things going to meeting points, we're walking on foot or I'm riding her out. So we leave at the same point, so we're there and ready. I've got a radio on and we've packed lunch and some sweets for her.
Okay.
And I'm told where the meeting point is by the gamekeeper. So I'll take my time and walk the pony up to the meeting point, and we'll just sit and wait and eat our sandwiches and enjoy each other's company. And then if they get something, sometimes we hear it over the hill, the gunshot, so we know before we get the radio, so we can kind of start packing up and getting ready to go. But we'll get a call on the radio telling us where they are and meet them. But sometimes if they've yomped miles and miles away, they'll start dragging it. We'll head up and they'll start dragging it down sometimes if they're nice and it's miles away. But we will meet them, load the pony, there's a big group of us loading the pony, and then we all walk back down the hill together.
Super.
And there's usually an ATV at the bottom of the hill to pick up the stag so she can have a nice walk back home and stretch out.
Okay.
So earlier I was talking about the different types of traditional deer saddles. This is the only other traditional deer saddle I have left. I used to have the combination saddle, but I sold that to a nice lady in America who's also putting it out on display and let the public see, so that's nice. I'm really happy with that. This is the Glencoy saddle. This is much smaller than the Glen Strathfara that Tan's wearing right now in length. Instead of 3 girth straps, it's got 2. And I mentioned earlier too, instead of finishing here, it's got a longer skirt with a slit for that long leather strap that was. Personally, I find that an absolute footer to do up, and I struggle to get any tightness on it because of that. It's a bit difficult.
That long leather strap's called a surcingle.
Surcingle, yes. Yes, surcingle.
And normally you'd put it on the top of this one as well.
Yeah, I just wrap it around that one, tuck it into this one.
Yeah.
That big one's far more stable than this one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But apart from that, everything else is the same. We cross these girths over. The girths are at the back here. It's the same blue canvas, but obviously leather can be used too. That's also fine, because that blue canvas isn't easiest to source. Straps at the front and the back for strapping the stag on, exactly the same. And then, see this one, I ran out of blue canvas. So we've got a leather breastplate and we have the canvas breeching here, and then the crupper. So everything goes on exactly the same, minus a girth.
And just so that people don't think this is the small Glen Strathfara, because people won't necessarily have seen a Glencoy.
No, these are really rare.
They're very rare.
Yeah.
we have tried to find other copies of this saddle.
We've struggled.
And we've even put things out on forums on the internet and asking if anyone's got.
Yeah.
People have got remains or broken parts of ones, but nobody has a working Glencoy saddle that we know of. Please contact us if you
Please
have,
do.
because
Yeah,
we're really keen to know.
Really interested
Because
to
we're
hear.
interested to find out if this is the only one. Because if it is the only actual complete working one, you're keen to get it into a museum or something,
Absolutely.
because it would be a shame to lose that history.
And this is still perfectly usable on the hill if we had to use it.
So we don't want to lose that history, is that right?
Absolutely.
So
While it's still in this condition, I want to keep it preserved.
Yes. So if anyone knows of a Glencoy saddle that's complete, now you do Glenstrathfaras with 2 girths.
Yes, you can get them with 2 girths, but obviously the key thing here is the skirt
Yep.
and the length.
Yes.
That's what differentiates it.
So if you've got a short-backed, 2-girthed with a long skirt saddle,
It's
there's
a
a good
Glencoy.
chance it's a Glencoy. Please get in contact, because
Yes.
we're interested. Because there can't be very many. If there is any more out there, we're talking less than 10, because there's not many of them out there. We have put things out asking and nobody has come forward. We've had a couple of small Glenstrathfaras, but they were definitely Glenstrathfaras, but we've never seen another Glencoy.
So I would be really interested to hear.
Yeah, super.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Well guys, Jess is just getting ready to go out. She's got the pony all set and she's ready to go out on the hill, see what she can bring back. So we thought we would just capture her leaving with Tanny and find out what it looks like to see the Highland pony going out to work. Right guys, so that's Jess heading out now to go and get a deer. What are you going to retrieve just now?
I'm going to go get a red stag.
So she's off to get a red stag.
If somebody decides it's not lunchtime.
Well, they work with their tummies.
They do, Highlands.
And they're always quiet when they're eating, so. So Jess is off to go and get her stag. We're going to say goodbye and let her get on with it now. So from Jess,
See you
she's
later.
saying goodbye. And from me, Grant, I'm going to say goodbye. I know I haven't been in front of the camera much today, but I've been behind it. So still with you. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.